How's it going, everyone? This is Yxlarb, and welcome to what is probably the most important update video that we've ever put out in the history of our channel. I don't mean to be so dramatic here from the beginning, or maybe I do, because I really don't want to underemphasize how important this topic matter is for us. So, bottom line, Bosniancheese needs to take a major step back from making videos. And before I get into the reasons why, I just want to put to rest any concerns that you may have regarding him or our relationship. You know, there's no behind-the-scenes drama, between us. There has been no falling out. This is just a matter of life changing and, priorities gaining prominence. That's really all it is. So we're going to be very transparent with you all here, or I am, because I'm the one speaking, but I'm of course, speaking on Bosniancheese's behalf, as I typically do. Another thing I want to make abundantly clear is that Bosniancheese is not leaving Yxlarb and Bosniancheese, or YAB as I'll call it going forward. That's how I like to refer to us, kind of just in casual speak. Bosniancheese is still going to be involved, in the channel, but to a lesser extent, obviously. Now, I can't emphasize this point enough. Bosniancheese, he will be as involved as he can be comfortably with the channel going forward. There's no doubt about that. And I also want to emphasize, again, kind of a point I brought up earlier, I don't have any ill will against him. We don't have problems. Problems didn't lead us to this change. To the contrary, I encourage Bosniancheese to take a step back so he can focus on what's really important to him, and that's his career. I mean, can you blame him? I mean, of course his career is more important than this hobby. Bosniancheese, he's one of the most creative and hardworking, committed people I know, and he's also one of the busiest, unfortunately. Depends on how you look at it, I guess. He juggles a lot in his life, on top of the usual adult responsibilities. He's we're all busy, right? But for him, it includes more than that. It includes rapping and singing, producing beats for his own tracks, and producing beats for his business, which is Busy Baby Beats. We may have mentioned it to you guys either here or on the Facebook page. If not, you can go ahead and check out his channel by clicking the link in the description of this video, or finding his channel in our featured channel section on our YouTube page. It's just right up there. And then also on top of that, he has acting. In fact, in regard to acting, he has recently landed a role in a local feature-length film, and he is going to, I guess, filming is going to start for that here come September. So yeah, that just gives you a sense of how busy he is just by default. And on top of that, he's going to be starting up his final semester of college come late August. So just think about all the stuff he's juggling around. That makes him way busier than the average person. As you all may know, he took a break from school during the pandemic, for the last, the last 2 semesters? Or maybe it was, how long has it been? Yeah, just 2 semesters. And he's returning to fully earn his bachelor's degree. That's where we're at. To fully drive the point home, I want to tell you guys something that I told Bosniancheese, and that's this. His future success in all of his endeavors is so much more important to me than our YouTube channel. Now, don't get me wrong, I love making videos. I love, sharing my thoughts with all of you and interacting with all of you and hanging out with Bosniancheese. This is a great pastime for us. However, at the end of the day, my cousin's success is pretty much as important to me as anything could possibly be. It's one of the most important things to me in the world. And of course, I'd be willing to make many more sacrifices on YouTube in order to allow him to pursue what he truly loves. It's that simple. Now, I know his needing to step back from his role on his channel will upset plenty of you. In spite of this, I hope that you're all happier for him than you are disappointed that he's leaving, because he's truly working toward his dreams, and he's on the road to success. I mean, how can you fault anybody for doing that? And from what I've seen, our viewer base is generally very mature. We don't really have many problems with all of you, and we're very thankful for that, and we pretty much know that most of you are going to support his decision here, and that makes us pretty much feel good about telling you all and just being very transparent. Okay, so if you've been following us for any reasonable amount of time, you've likely noticed we employ a particular structure for our video schedule. Just to briefly explain it, we call pretty much each chapter, quote-unquote chapter, in our YouTube career a phase. We call them phases. Each phase has typically consisted of 2 main series, usually one being a main solo series by either myself or Bosniancheese, and then the other being a main collaboration series by both of us. In recent years, our solo series have alternated between Bosniancheese and I, each phase. In other words, during one phase, my solo series would go up. Then during the next phase, Bosniancheese's solo series would go up. Then my next solo series would go up the following phase, etc. And each phase has also had side series going up to sort of, fill in the gaps in our schedule or just provide some variety to our content, such as, Mario Party 4 and Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Spec Ops. You get it. Then, once a phase ends, we typically have taken, a 2 to 3 week break to prepare for the next phase, and then the process starts all over again. Now, the bones of our phase structure are not really going to change that much going forward. All that's really changing is that I'm going to be making more of the content that goes up than Bosniancheese will. And now that's a pretty major change. I just want to emphasize that the same amount of content is going to be coming out. There's still going to be, roughly 2 videos a week with, adequate breaks, as necessary. And so you're going to be getting the same number of videos, it's just that more of them will be made by me. That should be pretty clear. I think that's pretty much as clear as it gets. Then, whenever Bosniancheese has time, he'll work on his own solo series and collaboration series with me, just sort of in the background as we go. And for any main series that involves him specifically, we won't start uploading any of those series until the entirety, of each series has been recorded. This is just so Bosniancheese doesn't feel the pressure of having to get a certain series done by a certain time. Instead, he can just commit, whatever time he has as we go. It should be pretty clear to you guys. I went to professional school. I went to law school. I have, a lot of certainty in my career. You put X amount of time into school, you pass the bar exam, and then you get a job, and then, if you have it depends on what you want out of a job. But me, I wanted certainty out of my job. I wanted a good work-life balance. I didn't want to work much more than 40 hours a week, ideally 40 hours or less, and that's what I happen to get. And so I know that 5 o'clock each day, I'm done. I know I have weekends off, so that means it's very easy for me to commit X amount of hours each week to YouTube. Bosniancheese doesn't have that luxury. And, being an artist, being a creator, you can't tell somebody, okay, give me, 2 hours and I can create a song. You might be able to, but certain songs are going to take longer to create than others. That means they're, this is just one example. Same thing with acting. Different, acting gigs come and go. Some are going to take up a lot more of your time than others will. It's impossible for Bosniancheese to say, oh yeah, I'm only going to work 40 hours this week between, making music, producing beats, acting, and, going to school. It'd be impossible for him to say that. First of all, I don't even know if you can, succeed in all of those things by putting forth only 40 hours combined each week. You have to put in more. That's the first problem. Second, you just can't be certain of that. You can't say, oh yeah, I'll just put in 10 hours a week each week towards music and then I'm going to be a successful rap star. You can't say that. It's not that cut and dry. So, yeah, pretty much just allowing Bosniancheese this freedom to be involved as much as he can going forward without having any sort of time pressure will allow him to, focus on what's really important and then just use YouTube as a stress relief, which is really what it's meant to be. I mean, it's a hobby. It's not meant to stress us out more. It's not meant to be a burden, and that's what we're trying to keep it as. I guess one of the important questions you guys might have is, how will Bosniancheese taking a step back affect our current schedule? Well, let's answer that, I guess, by series. First, Gears of War 3, there will be no change. Since Bosniancheese recorded that entire series already, it will just continue going up on Tuesdays as normal, right? Star Fox Adventures is a unique situation. So, like I told you guys before, going forward, Bosniancheese and I are not going to release any collaborations until we fully recorded them. Obviously, though, we've already released Star Fox Adventures to you, and we think it would be really rude, honestly, to now say, hey, we're not going to release any more Star Fox until we've recorded the entirety of the rest of the series. We just don't think it'd be fair to take the series away from you guys for potentially months, because as of right now, things are about as uncertain as they can be. We don't know when the next time we'll get together to record more Star Fox will be, but pretty much as we record it, we'll release it to you guys, because we've already released the first 8 episodes so far. You're getting the 9th one next week. But pretty much after the 9th episode, a week from today, next Friday, there won't be much certainty until we record more. So I'll just keep you guys updated on the Star Fox front as we go, but just know that series will come out as videos are ready. Next up is my Sonic Adventure 2 bonus content, which I promised you guys would come out next phase. Well, actually, I've got some good news for you there. This, it's not really a series on its own. It's a part of my Sonic Adventure 2 series, but the bonus content will start coming out after Star Fox Adventures Episode 9. So next week, Star Fox 9 is coming out. The week after that, every Friday, you'll get a Sonic Adventure 2 bonus video. And that's pretty much all I've got to say regarding the current schedule. That's those are all the games that I've mentioned, by name or that have gone up, so far. I'm not going to discuss future series at this point because pretty much everything else is uncertain. Just know that pretty much mostly everything that goes up will be a solo series by me. I might do 1 to 2 series at a time. Not really sure. I'm just going to pretty much take that on a phase-by-phase basis. For now, it's going to be Gears of War 3 and Sonic Adventure 2 bonus after Star Fox Episode 9 goes up. And we'll just carry on with that for the next, couple months, however long it goes, until Gears of War 3 is done. And then we'll reassess. Okay? I think that makes sense. I want to make it clear, though, that, Bosniancheese taking a step back right now, this isn't necessarily written in stone. I mean, if after school, say, after Bosniancheese completes his last semester, if he manages to gain more time back, or if we can get far enough ahead in whatever series we work on in the background, either together or him on his own, then we can just go back to how things have been for years. There's really no reason that would stop us from doing that. However, I'm not going to promise that because life has a way of forcing you to kind of narrow your sights onto what is most important. So things like hobbies and whatnot kind of go by the wayside when you're trying to achieve your dreams. Fortunately, we haven't had to do that. I mean, even to this point, even though Bosniancheese is taking a step back, and even though we as a channel have taken a major step back from the beginning. I mean, at the beginning we were doing 5 videos a week. Now we're doing 2 videos a week. But we still have, our hands in this hobby, which is frankly a blessing. I mean, I know a lot of people that just have to grind constantly every week and don't really have time to take for themselves. I feel grateful that he and I have something like this to fall back onto as, a form of stress relief, as a form of us just hanging out. But I also want to make clear, guys, that Bosniancheese and I don't just work on YAB in our spare time, together. Sometimes we get together just to hang out, like cousins or friends do. We just have lunch, we talk, whatever. And we also work on other kind of projects. We have other hobbies we deal with in the background, some of which you guys might know about, and some which we don't want you to really know about yet, because that's a surprise. I'm not going to say anything else on that. Just that I'll just put that out there just to excite you all a little bit, perhaps. But I think it's about time to conclude this video. I mean, there you go. I'm sure plenty of you aren't surprised by this update. I mean, as people grow into themselves, it's inevitable that we just, put things off to the side that aren't as vital to our ultimate goals, such as YouTube in this case. There might come a day when Bosniancheese and I have to fully step away. I don't think that day will come, and even if it does, it won't be today or really anytime soon. So there you go. Take that for what you will. Anyway, thank you guys for listening today. I really appreciate it. We both sincerely hope that you understand and that this doesn't upset you too greatly. We also want to thank you for your continued support as always, and be sure to stay tuned for more Gears of War 3 and upcoming Sonic Adventure 2 bonus content. Also stay tuned for Star Fox Adventures whenever we get around to recording more, and stay tuned for whatever Bosniancheese or us together in a collaboration have in store for you in the future. Thanks again.